Welcome to the Squared Circle Shenanigans. We are live back at you again for episode 40. We have a fantastic guest. We will get to them momentarily, but we want to welcome them. Before we get to that, though, can we do a quick sponsor list go through?
So we would like to thank our sponsors, Demon Cannabis, Smoker Society, FU Wrestling, Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, Lane's Pizzeria, The Dudes Talking Wrestling, Insane Wrestling Revolution, Pro Wrestling Edge, The Little Brown Jug, and Craving Sports Cards and Collectibles. Thank you all for your continued support.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading. Welcome, our guest, the great Junie Toons. Hi, welcome. It's great to have you.
Great to be a part of the show, and that's quite the list of sponsors. Sorry to detract, but
Oh no, you're good.
You're fine.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've got a lot of love and support here, as much as we can get, and as much as we can give back, of course, clearly.
absolutely.
So let's kind of get straight into it. Um, we've seen that you've been around the independent scene, multiple different places. Um, what would you say would be like your top few that you'd worked at?
Um, that's always tough to say. For different reasons. Obviously, I've loved working at Flophouse. They're the first promotion I've worked at, and they've always shown me love. Same for XVW down in the greater Dayton area. I've been a mainstay there for most of my wrestling career. But even up in Detroit, there have been a number of promotions, or in Michigan in general, like IWE. They've shown me a lot of love, and um, I will say I haven't had a chance to wrestle at Pro Wrestling Edge, but they look like they'd be a lot of fun. Same with IWR. I definitely love to get back up that way. But I will say most places treat me very well, and there are a few places I wouldn't go back to.
Alrighty, all right.
So, yeah.
Yes.
You've had you have quite a large list of notable opponents. Is there anyone in particular you really like working with?
I always have a good time working with either Thunder Kitty or Randy West. Both of them very seasoned, very good at what they do. And I've had the chance to work with them several times, so I've started kind of getting that rhythm down with them. So if I know I'm going to be working with Thunder Kitty or Randy, I know that it's going to be a good match, both because they can make a good match with almost anybody anyways, but having that experience with them just kind of makes it all that much better.
All right, absolutely. Would you care to chime in? You got anything?
Yeah, I'll chime in. All right, so I'm looking at this notes that Reese put in over here.
All the work.
Yes, he put in all the work. It says thumb wrestling record.
Whoa.
Do you care to go into some detail?
Yeah, so this past summer there was a thumb wrestling event I was asked to be a part of. It was in Indianapolis. I had the weekend free, so I figured why not. Um, it was very interesting because yes, the thumb wrestling itself is within like the tiny ring, but there's a lot of actual like fighting and wrestling outside of the thumb wrestling as well. So I know, for example, my second match, I got DDT'd right onto the floor, which didn't feel very good, but it's more physical than I originally anticipated. And it's a lot of fun, actually. So I plan on kind of going back and doing that December 30th, actually.
Nice.
All right, all right.
And do you know who your opponent is?
I'll need to double check. I know there's my first round opponent, but I'm hoping that I keep up the good luck and make it past the first round because there will actually be two shows that day.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Soon to be champion of that next.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I always wonder with thumb wrestling, do they get you a belt for your thumb, or is it a full size belt? I guess it's
maybe it's a trophy. So it's just a gigantic thumb trophy. Just a thumbs up. Good job. Oh well. Could you give us a little bit more of your background in it? Like, who trained you? What made you decide you wanted to be a wrestler? Any decently good stories about possibly like newcomers that you've enjoyed, or like past wrestlers that you performed with?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of growing up, I watched a lot of wrestling with my cousins. With our age group, we grew up in the Attitude Era, so we would literally switch between like WWF and WCW. And my interest just kind of continued, and as they got older, their interests kind of branched off. And for years, I guess I let myself not make it a focus, and finally got to that age where I'm like, either it's go time or there's no time. And, I decided to get trained. My initial trainers won't even really mention their names because they're not worth, I shouldn't say they're not worth, but they're not notable names. And knowing what I know now, I don't know if they should have been training at the point they were training me. So I did end up, after my first few months in the business, moving out to Detroit. I trained at House of Truth for a while, and then moved down to Indianapolis in 2022, where I've been training with Anthony Lee and Schwartzy.
Nice.
So I had a question about one of your nicknames. So it's the Last Unicorn.
Yes.
So, how did that nickname or gimmick come about with the unicorn?
So honestly, part of it is with my age group. There was the movie The Last Unicorn, so kind of it's some of the sprinkling of nostalgia, if you will. But also I'm more or less the last person in my family, so kind of having that kind of, for lack of a better term, the family line ends with me. That's kind of a little bit sadder, but also kind of an accurate way to describe me and kind of how I feel.
Nice. And another one of your nicknames is the Vaporwave Vixen.
Yes.
And may I ask how that nickname came about?
That one was kind of tongue-in-cheek, especially because I tend to say rad a lot, and I used to share a lot of Vaporwave memes, and people said, why not kind of delve into that a bit? So I thought that would be kind of fun and a little bit cheeky.
Perfect. You got something? You want me to go for a moment?
There you go.
Alrighty, I'll go back to it. Could you tell us some of your favorite matches from some of your places, like Flophouse Wrestling, Future Great Wrestling, and possibly New Wrestling Revolution?
Yeah, so honestly, kind of going back to almost any match I've had with Randy West makes it to like some of my top favorites. Last year I wrestled her at AWR. It was for her women's championship. I didn't end up winning, but it was a lot of fun. The crowd was really hot that night. It definitely showed that I had improved since I'd last wrestled at AWR. In terms of Flophouse, I've been in a number of their scrambles. I feel like probably my favorite match, and I hope there's footage of it up somewhere out there, is I wrestled Nate Webb. It's definitely a match I felt the next day. But it was a lot of fun. I got close a few times to winning the match. Just obviously his experience and strength, just I couldn't quite get there. And I would say for New Wrestling Revolution, I was in a triple threat match. One of the rare times I got to wrestle as a heel. The crowd just was not a big fan, and I figured, well, I'll make sure they don't like me then. But we ended up getting to go 15 to 20 minutes, one of my longer matches, and kind of being able to have a longer match as a heel allowed me to kind of evolve that character a bit, and that was at New Wrestling Revolution. But I'd say those would be some of my favorite matches currently. I feel kind of a little conceited talking about my own work, so I'm sorry if I seem a little shy about it.
It's very understandable.
You're fine.
Oh, good thing you had the lid on.
All right, I was getting ready to move it. Jesus.
Question. So in 2022, you ranked number 187 on the QWI 200.
Yes.
And so when you found out about that, like, how'd you feel? Or
I felt. Hi, Goldman. I
What
felt
up?
really. Honestly flattered because I know that on any list like that, it's because of the people around you. So I felt like it was just as much thanks to the support I had around me as it was to actually like my accomplishments. Because at the end of the day, I kind of feel like I'm a bit of a silly gal that puts on unicorn outfits and kicks people in the face, which is fun, but also humbling.
Absolutely. Well, we didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry about that. I heard it go off. Welcome to our other co-host Jeremiah, who couldn't be here in person, but luckily, nonetheless, we've got him through via video.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
I'm here. Yeah.
Funny enough, you and I were in a triple threat with Alex Van Zant. What was it like
Oh.
2 years ago?
2 years. I was about to say we have fought each other twice professionally.
Both times you hit me below the belt.
I did. It's my go-to move. It's my finisher move. It works. It's effective. Listen, it's very effective.
Yeah, it is. Jerk.
But yeah, the first time me and Junie ever had battle was it was that Chaos, the old Chaos, not the new Chaos,
Yes.
but the original Chaos. And that was in a women's title tournament. And I snuck up, like I came out the woods. It was great. I cheated.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really cheating. I wasn't caught. I was advantageous. And then we fought. It was me, you, and Alex in a like it wasn't really a hardcore match. I believe
What
it was
did they
more
call
like
a super soft death match?
Yeah.
Something silly like that.
Yeah, I got stabbed in the face with like giant knitting needles. It was not
I
cool.
was Samoan dropped both of you on Jolly Ranchers. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Nice.
That's awesome. Really though, other than wrestling, we kind of did a little research. We've seen that you're into a few things like glass blowing, and I believe it's Reiki practitioner.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you came upon that as like some of your favorite stuff and how long you've been doing it, possibly?
What is
So
it?
Yeah, what is
So
it?
both of those things I'm a little out of practice on, just really since getting involved with wrestling,
Okay.
things that have taken a bit of a back burner. But so first off with glass work, when I lived in Kalamazoo, I got involved with the Glass Arts Center because they were really affirming and accepting people. So I volunteered and found out that they actually had a program where they would make beads for children going through like cancer treatment. So different designs would signify like different parts of their treatment. And so I learned how to make beads and did that to volunteer a few times a month. As for Reiki, it's just something where it's similar to like massage, but not quite. Like it's lighter touch. What I like to say, and from my experience, is it's like a deep state of relaxation. I can be wound very tight at times, being busy and caffeinated. So anything to kind of promote relaxation, I'm all for.
Absolutely.
And I would say, lastly, most recently, I've been really into cooking. Like I love food, so why not get good at cooking it too?
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I saw a couple of your posts this past week, and everything looked really good.
Yeah, this week I made kimchi noodle soup and dill pickle soup.
Nice. Delicious. Alrighty.
So I have a question. So moving into 2024, since we're at the end of 2023, is there any like promotions or athletes you want to compete against? Anything you have in your site?
I wouldn't. What I think would be a realistic goal for 2024, and I'm working first towards getting my Kentucky wrestling license, is I'd like to make my OVW debut if possible.
Nice.
I also know I'm talking with a few people about potentially making my debut in Oklahoma in February or March.
Nice.
So that would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, just kind of breaking into new states, continuing to get my name out there. I'd like to have the chance to really show the diversity of the character I can show people. I know I tend to be good at really showing the positive and wholesome, giant unicorn lady, but I am capable of more diversity, whether it be, showing more intensity, being angry, a straight up mean bitch almost, if you will. Just anything to further my wrestling career and, get in front of new people.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Any dream like matchup opponents?
I know really pie in the sky. I would love to wrestle Mickie James. I've always been a big fan of her work, and I know that she's been like a really like big supporter of the LGBTQ community. Honestly, I hate putting together too many dream matches because I feel like in my head I will get like I'll set an expectation that may or may not be hit, and kind of alongside of the whole never meet your idols. I feel like kind of conceptualizing that too early can.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. So going throughout the indies, you've learned quite a bit, I'm assuming. So this is probably gonna be a two-parter. First thing is, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a newcomer, possibly? And the second part is, on a professional scale type level, if you were to go to like WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, one of those, where would you see yourself going, and where would you see yourself feeling more comfortable at?
Both good questions. I guess for advice, a lot of it comes down to just being coachable, being teachable, being able to take criticism and feedback. Fortunately, having a background in martial arts, I was really good at like taking feedback from a sensei. So to me, I already had that kind of down a bit. So that helped get me places I might not have otherwise gotten. Because even if I didn't fit exactly the skill level they were looking for, they knew that having like that open mind and open ears, if they paired me with someone more experienced, that could just pretty well bridge the gap.
Right.
As for, could you repeat the other part of the question? I'm sorry.
You're good. So going through independence, once you've reached it, and you get there, you get the opportunity on a professional scale or level. Where would you see yourself going if you had options? WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, things like that. Where would you see yourself most comfortable being at?
Well, honestly, if I had a dream that could be fulfilled, I'd love to wrestle in Japan. But in terms of, I guess, any of the bigger promotions, in the West, I feel like I've always been a big fan of TNA. So I could see myself enjoying going there. I feel like AEW already having like Nyla Rose, we know that they can treat a trans performer with respect. But also, I feel like right now their talent pool is a little saturated.
Absolutely.
So the hard part would be if I did get there, finding a way to stand out enough to actually get the screen time to build up.
Right.
We have a lot of TNA superstars at IWR too.
That's true.
Yeah, IWR has connections.
That's very true. Multiple IWR connections, slowly but surely. You got like a top 10 question or anything you're curious about? I know you just addressed that a few times. You got any top 10 ideas that you like to ask about?
What about your Mount Rushmore?
Oh, okay.
A
That's a good one, too.
professional. Who personally you would think, like child? Yeah, your top. You'd say your top
4 to
4 or
5.
5.
Yeah.
Top 5. I don't, not in no particular order, but I would say Bull Nakano, Chris Jericho,
Okay.
Shawn Michaels.
All right. I like it so far.
As a person, I don't like him, but I will say Hulk Hogan, just because in a time where like wrestling really needed like that, he was there. As a human being, not a big fan of him. But then I don't know who I'd really say for number 5.
Ooh.
I guess I'd personally say Stone Cold Steve Austin because
Nice.
There you
where
go.
he was at, I don't think there was anyone else who could have filled that role the way he did. And
Okay.
I know it's probably an odd list, but there it is.
It's a
I
great
like that.
list.
I like
Oh,
that.
that's good.
We'll have Jeremiah speak in a moment because we've seen him more than we've heard him. So, I mean, I'd love to hear him ask questions and give some statements. Just before that, clearly you've talked about both of them, and it's a topic we hear all the time. So, just your quick answer: who do you think had a bigger impact, Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold?
That's a very good question. I'll be biased just because I did grow up in the Attitude Era, but I think I'd have to say Stone Cold.
I like
Just
that.
because I feel like there was a lot on the line, like especially for WWF at the time. I mean, if they wouldn't have had the characters they had and the program they had, they would have more easily lost to WCW. And the last few decades of wrestling may have turned out significantly different.
Most definitely, absolutely. I like
Great.
that
He's a great
answer.
wrestler.
That was fantastic. You got anything?
If I could ask one question, you've worked with she's on the list here, and I've said you posted a picture I know a couple weeks ago with Henderson, and
Uh,
she's wrestled here at IWR, but
She was at our Christmas
and she
party
was at our
yesterday.
Christmas party yesterday, so we got to talk to her.
Pretty cool.
So would you work with her again?
I mean, I wouldn't see why not. There are a few people I've worked with that I wouldn't work with again, and I felt like with the size advantage or the size difference, we had a lot we could work with, both in terms of like actual wrestling and storytelling.
Yeah, I got to see that match. It was on YouTube, and I really liked it. You both
Nice.
did a great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. Alrighty, Jeremiah, you're hiding back there. You got anything interesting for us?
I do. I was biting a nail. I didn't want the camera.
Understandable.
A fingernail, we hope.
Right.
It's whatever. So, all right, Miss Juniper Gates,
I don't think
my
so.
friend, my dear friend. So, I love my co-hosts. They're as fun to listen to as watching paint dry. So, I love you guys, but you're horrible. Juniper's been great, but like it's like playing tennis with a wall with no bounce. It's weird. I digress.
All right.
So Juniper, so you are a trans wrestler. You're
Mhm.
actually one of the first trans wrestlers I have ever met in my entire wrestling career. What has that struggle been like? What has been different? You know what I mean? From like being like I have a one view of the world. I am a cisgendered queer male, right? But I'm still a white male.
Yeah.
So I still get the advantageousness of that. You know what I mean? But where has the actual difficulties of being who you are openly? Like name some if you can, please. Like enlighten our viewers, my co-host, myself.
Honestly, a really great question, first off, but it's been a more positive reception both in the locker room and among the crowds than I really anticipated when I first got into wrestling.
That's awesome.
Obviously, anytime I debut somewhere new, whether it's a new promotion or a new venue or new town, there is always that part of me that wonders how I'll be accepted. But even among most of rural America, I tend to get a good response. I feel like most of the difference will be in kind of the details. Like there are a lot of promotions that may be likely to book me and bill me as like a woman's wrestler, but may not be willing to push me or be willing to have me like carry the women's division because they don't know how like the crowd may perceive that as opposed to just me simply being a feel good wrestler. Or even rarely, there may just simply be promotions that overlook me just for being me. But what I kind of see as the trade off is there are promotions that want the diversity and are willing to bring me in because of that. So I'd say all trade offs, but for the most part, honestly, I can say wrestling's helped me build my confidence as a woman. And as a trans woman, especially just kind of wearing the tight fitting outfits, it's right all there. You learn real quick what's what. So yeah.
That was a really great question
Great answer too.
and answer. I didn't even, didn't know what to ask exactly there. So,
Well, no, I mean, like it's a
It
big
really
part of Juniper's life. It's a big part of her. I don't want to say like her character, but it's
right.
so like the best wrestling gimmicks are you turned up, right? Like not just like the boring parts, like Brother Paul eating pizza every night till 11 p.m. Like dribbling pizza sauce
How
on
come
his
you know
chest.
me so well?
Nobody wants that turned up to 11. But like it's a big part of her identity. I know June. She's a great
The
human
one
being.
woman pride parade.
Boom. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to talk about it. It's and plus, I believe she's the first trans guest we've ever actually had on the show.
That is very true. I was gonna bring that point up. You are right.
Yeah. So you might as
feel
well,
like
you might as well
She's
talk
a
about it.
transgender in more than one way.
Well,
Transcender. Sorry.
so also, I know there's a promotion me and you both frequent at, Flophouse,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
and a gentleman named Joseph Schwartz, who was, I want to say, very helpful and influential in your career, at least in the early stages, from what I saw.
Early and recently, like I owe everything to that man. He's like a wrestling dad to me, honestly.
Yeah, I've
Well,
seen.
I'll say,
He's really cool.
tell me about that? How did that relationship form, right? Because like unless y'all two are like homies, right? You're not like
Yeah.
I mean he's down with everybody, but he's partying in the parking lot. You know what I mean? He's not
Yeah.
at the he's at the party parking lot. He ain't at the Pride Parade
He's in the
parking
back
lot.
getting high.
He's not against it. Everybody's welcome at the party. You know what I mean? But it's not two people you would associate as close as they are.
Right. So it was actually when I was first kind of getting in the business, I managed to get to know. I had like a pre-show practice match, and it was in the middle of the pandemic. Ended up networking with like Peter B. Beautiful and his son, who were currently at that time friends with Schwartz and Randy. Schwartz was actually looking for like a green trans woman to put in their Rumble, and just so happened they knew exactly who. So Schwartz and I were in communications. It was my first like actual match. I was so nervous, but I came early, stayed to help clean up, and just stayed in contact. So even though there wasn't much going on like at that point of the pandemic, when things opened up, opportunities presented themselves that might not have otherwise. Like my third match, I was able to wrestle at AWR against Mitch Onyx. And it was just simply that willingness to like learn, help, be there when not a lot of people were, that kind of started that friendship. And I always reached out to Schwartz for advice, so he was more and more willing to give it. And eventually, the end of 2021, I ended up moving down to Indianapolis because he's like, hey, we're closer. I can help get you in cars. I can like help give you like more coaching and advice in person. And eventually, he got ring time with me alongside Anthony Lee. And I spent just a lot of time improving, learning, and growing. And just because of the proximity, we grew a lot closer. Even kind of going on some, car rides together. Nothing brings you closer than several hours in a car. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Partying.
Real quick about Flophouse, if you don't mind, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I when I was looking on for the QWI 200 on the list, when I was reading about the brief summary of you, it said you put together your own invitational scramble at Flophouse.
Yes.
So how was that received?
Really well. Flophouse, because how vehemently LGBTQ like friendly and supporting they are. It's really easy to be over as a face there and being myself. So Schwartz kind of gave me a little extra like rein to kind of pipe that event up. So able to get a few people in that I was used to working with. I made some cute little crafts to go along with it, and Got to cut a little promo in the beginning. So overall, it was a lot of fun, a little gimmicky, but I mean, at the end of the day, I am a giant unicorn lady, so it's kind of the name of the game.
And would you consider doing more scrambles in the future at different promotions?
I've gotten so good at scrambles just because of the consistency with Flophouse that I absolutely would. I prefer like one-on-one matches, but scrambles can be a fun way to get like a number of different people. And realistically, if you do it right, everyone gets to get some of their things in. Most people get to look really good. And it's just a great way to kind of start a match out with a lot of fire, if done correctly.
Nice.
They all end up playing TLC's Waterfall.
You're not wrong.
Well, yeah, I know. It's weird. It's crazy. No. The scramble matches are fun, Reese, man. But like as a performer, you want as much spotlight to yourself as you can get. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
like a 1v, like unless you're getting like a promo to yourself in the ring, like the next best thing is literally a 1v1 match.
Okay. Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the least amount of people, the more time you get to shine.
Okay. Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, no worries. Why does it say you and Scotty and there's no Scotty in the chair?
Look,
Well, you
been
can't see
bothering
him.
me
He's
for
like
like
John
30
Cena. You
minutes.
can't see him.
He's John Cena today.
He's hanging out with John Cena.
He's here in
and
spirit.
We're here with he's with Little Jimmy, but Big Jimmy's here.
Got you. Ugh. All right, Miss Junie. Oh,
No, go ahead,
Reese,
John.
no. Go ahead.
One more thing. So I put here you were the Extreme Valley Ladies Wrestling Champion.
Yes.
So when you won, like what was going through your mind when when you won the match and you were handed the title?
A lot of emotion. As a child, I always wanted to be a wrestler, and like it was my first title, and realizing I was probably the first trans woman as like women's champion in Ohio, and even having like people I knew in the crowd to kind of celebrate with me, just kind of being cheered. It was a big moment for me. It felt very affirming, both as a wrestler and as a trans woman.
Nice.
Alrighty. I have two questions. The first one, who do you think has the best ring chemistry with you that you've been in the ring with?
I would have to say either probably Randy West or Thunder Kitty at this time.
Okay.
Randy West is on my list also.
Let's go. I like
I'm
that.
bro. She's very easy to get into a fight with. Like it's
Sorry.
not hard.
I've
I
seen
disappeared there for a second.
You're fine.
I've seen some of her matches too. They are pretty wild.
Oh no, bro! Like fighting her sucks, but like it's very easy because she's like a little honey badger of just like viciousness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. I was saying, June, that Randy is also on my list of like chemistry people. Like very easy to just fight.
Oh, absolutely. She
just comes at you, and you have no choice but to survive.
Just to try to survive.
She's so good at so many different types of wrestling. Like she's an amazing deathmatch wrestler, but like none of my matches with her have been like true hardcore death matches, and she just knows how to work. It's
She's
phenomenal.
technically sound.
Yeah, she is.
That's fantastic. I love that
Yes.
answer. That's crazy. A big shout out to Swartzy and Randy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, all the love for the both of them.
Fantastic. Other question though. What is one of the biggest accomplishments that you want to have checked off your list by the time you retire, if you have to?
I would love to be on like the PWI 500. Like the QWI 200 is great, but like the PWI 500 is kind of the one that got it all started, and it's for all wrestlers. It's the most encompassing, so I feel like it would be like the most competitive to get on.
All right, a really good answer. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely, it's been a great show so far. I've enjoyed every moment of this.
Me too.
It's been a lot of fun.
I'm gonna ask you, June, because like I don't know. I was having this conversation the other day with some wrestling buddies. So you the PWI 500, right? Like that's
Mhm.
the list. That's the quintessential list, right?
Oh.
And then you have the QWI, you have the BWI, you have the the Latino, the LWI or the Hispanic. I don't remember which word they used for it, but like there's like 8 other WI lists after that. And I felt really bad this year because the BWI, the black wrestler one, kind of got really messed up because they put my boy Gaston on there. And he is whiter than mayonnaise on bread. And yeah, and that happened. But
Wow.
it happens, man. It's
A little bit typo.
life, dog. Right. But these other lists exist, right? And like they're cool to get on, you know what I mean? Like they're cool to be on, like, oh man, I was on this one. But like, I don't know. It's one of those like, it's not the list though. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Like, because like there's people that are on all those lists. You know what I mean? Like they made multiple, but they made the PWI, which solidifies it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, shout out to Hoodfoot for doing that.
Yeah, Hoodfoot's a great wrestler.
Love that guy.
Oh no, he's great. He's big and mean though.
I got
I
the
don't ever want to face him in the ring. He looks rather horrifying, but like hanging out with Hoodfoot, fun times.
He moves really fast for like as large of a gentleman as he is. Moves
Yeah, he
very
does.
fast. He's never caught me, but he moves very fast. Like,
Jeremiah's like, I'm a little faster. Get out of
a
here.
little faster, man. A little faster, a little sneakier.
Ah.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
He's called the 24 karat light for a reason.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Just out here putting in all the work.
Somebody said smash the like if you're lurking. I don't know what that means. That's creepy.
It means if they're watching without liking or talking, then they should,
Like the
Smash
word
the like
liking
button.
just is creepy. If you're just being a voyeur, like that sounds less creepy.
Oh, okay.
It does. Like lurking sounds creepy. Like you're not gonna be like, yeah, I was lurking the other day. Like that sounds really weird.
You're not lurking around the corner. You're not just chilling around the corner.
Chilling, not lurking. Lurking sounds like
that
you're
sounds
up to like.
menacing at
I
that
guess,
point.
yeah, you're right.
I mean,
It is a.
Sounds like you're going to be added to a list.
chill.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
Well, he's stalked actually, but
that's like lurking. Just I don't know, man. I don't want people to describe me as lurking. I feel like
Jeremiah's
in
just lurking behind the
conversation,
tree over there. while we
it's
all,
not.
talk.
It's not one of my descriptors that you can use for me. I don't consent to that word. I don't like it. It's a weird word.
It's
It's a weird ass word.
It's a good one. I like that one. Put the Cheetos
that's
down.
Good, that's good.
That would be me. How'd you know?
Cheetos?
I wish. Oh, I wish. Believe me.
That was
So,
too much. That was
oh,
rough.
I was gonna say, so Juniper, as a trans wrestler, right?
Mhm.
How many matches have you had where it has been you versus another trans athlete?
Ooh.
You know, that's honestly a good question, and there have only been a couple. Once I wrestled Davison, once I wrestled a gal in Illinois, and then I've wrestled Storm a handful of times. Usually in either like tag matches or triple threats. But that's really been it so far.
Nice.
Nice.
I got to see the match with you and Davison, and I thought that was really cool.
It was a lot of fun, and it was interesting. I'm surprised they didn't put more hype to it because it was 2 trans wrestlers fighting for a women's title in the state of Michigan, and that definitely has not happened before.
That has not.
No.
That'll definitely put butts in the seats right there.
Yeah.
Just on its own, thing.
No.
All right. So future stuff's cool and all, but like we got 2024 coming up next year.
Mhm.
Like that's within a month, less than. What are your goals for next year? You mentioned OVW earlier. We had Al Snow on a few months ago, And his advice to get on OV Dub was message them on their website. Yep, straight up.
Awesome.
So
I'm going to do that then.
So that is doable.
OVWrestling.com.
What other stuff are you? What promotions are in your sights for 2024? Where are places you want to go? Spread your unicorn magic around this country at places you haven't been, places that you haven't even like actually talked to yet, but you're like, that's on the radar.
I definitely like to break into new states. I've had a number of people suggest me heading out to like Colorado, so I think that could be a lot of fun. If I could break into like 3 new states next year, I think that'd be great. I'd love to kind of make my way back up to Michigan a bit. I have a lot of people I've known up there. I used to work up there frequently. I wouldn't mind kind of making my return places. I don't want to be oversaturated up there, but definitely want people to see like how much I've grown since I left. Like me leaving, Michigan wasn't just in vain. It was me, actually growing as a person and a wrestler. I know those are kind of vague goals, but kind of where they're at.
Nice.
No, those are reasonable goals. They don't
Right.
seem out of reach or anything. They seem like reachable goals.
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
They're not like a New Year's resolution that you just make and don't do.
And they could definitely change throughout, next few months or anything.
Exactly. And I know over the next few weeks, I will kind of plan out next year a bit more thoroughly as well.
Nice.
Absolutely. Oh, jeez. I put my notes down. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
You put yours down, at least you took notes.
Yeah, not many. Not as much as Reese, but hey, we get there. That's all that matters.
Another just one question. When we mentioned, you mentioned a couple of times about Thunder Kitty. What do you have a favorite match with Thunder Kitty?
Honestly, I will say the triple threat between her, myself, and Rory Shields just a few weeks back at BMFX, that was a lot of fun. It was originally supposed to be one-on-one, so the triple threat part was like something we only learned like a short while before. But even kind of Rory being newer, it turned into a really fun match, and the crowd loved it.
Good for Green, man. She's really good.
Mhm.
What's that?
I was saying Rory's really good for like how new she is to the scene.
Yeah, she is, and she's a sweetheart in the locker room. So always down to work with her.
Nice.
If you could choose one thing to change from the wrestling industry, like if you wanted to or could, what would it be? How would you change it and why?
I think the pettiness and drama, like there are definitely times where people should be expelled from the wrestling business for good. But there's just a lot of just pettiness and BS that really don't do anything but cause for stress and like needless drama. So
Yep. Turn
I'm
something.
there. If someone did something egregious, tell me, show me proof. I'll jump on the bandwagon to burn them at the cross. But if they're just kind of a jerk and you don't like them, it's kind of a different story. I'm just there to kind of work, make the fans happy, get paid, go home.
Absolutely.
rinse and repeat.
For real. I put in all the extra effort and all that crap when you don't need to or have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of my dramas in the land of kayfabe.
I like that. Who is someone that you've been paired with in the past that you feel like had the most potential?
I would say when I've wrestled Avery Hertz a few times, and he's quite talented for being as new as he is as well. I think that would probably be one of the best I could think of.
Absolutely. That's great.
If you don't mind,
Please.
I also have that you worked with Haley Shadows, and that wasn't that. It was also listed on your QWI list that you worked with Haley Shadows, correct?
Yes. So I've actually wrestled her twice. Once was at the Pride show in Cincinnati back in 2022, and then more recently, a few months back, I wrestled her at BMFX.
Nice. And how is your in-ring chemistry?
Pretty good overall. She does like a lot of character work. Her and I kind of agree, you know, like do more with less. I think she actually got me disqualified with the old Eddie Guerrero finish,
Ah,
Oh,
which was frustrating. But what can you do?
that's fair. I feel like this is a simple question. It's usually never asked really. But as a wrestling fan and a wrestler yourself, do you prefer heels or baby faces?
I kind of like I like both, but there are definitely people who play the role of face or play the role of heel a lot better.
Right.
So I guess for me, I like the story in general. So it kind of both, but being a face more or less myself, I've learned to appreciate faces a bit more. Like when I was younger, I used to hate John Cena, but now I can kind of go back and watch, you know, some of Big John's work and appreciate it a bit more.
Right.
John
right.
Cena's the GOAT. 10 years
Well,
ago, I never would have said that.
Well, I can tell you right now, from what I can tell and what I've seen, you're on screen next to one of the greatest heels that I've seen, you know, live.
Oh, Goldmay's a jerk.
Oh, I'm an
Big old
asshole.
He is one of the best.
Someone should
Here
book me to
he's-
come and kick him in the
He's
face.
a douchebag, clearly,
No, I don't like
and,
being.
and he's nice at the same time, so we love him. But like at live shows, he's fantastic as a heel.
Remember with
He's
D-Mills?
one of the best that I have seen.
Just know I am accepting bookings to kick Goldmane in the face.
Nice.
We got to get you down
Flophouse.
here.
Flophouse
You let
is
us know
up
when
here
you're in
now.
Michigan. We'll have you come do it here.
Yeah.
I say Flophouse is in Michigan now.
Yeah, they are.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it is.
It happen
Yeah,
there too.
it could
possibly
happen.
at IWR as well.
Yeah.
You never
I got a
know.
lot
My neck's doing good.
See?
I'm Gildish.
Unfortunately for you, I mean, now that means you can take them kicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
know. Oh, I know. Oh.
I believe you said you had a question. Clear.
All right. So my question is, do you remember what, like, when you turned on the TV and you first seen wrestling and said, "Yeah, that's what I want to do"? Do you remember who was wrestling?
Give me just a second. I'm switching rooms. My roommate's getting home. I don't remember exactly who. I was really young at the time. I just remember kind of a lot of like the characters of like the remnants of like the golden era, and so like a lot of like Macho Man Randy Savage, and then kind of more when I had my own, I guess, conscious thoughts as a child. It was starting to see that, you know, people like Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels a little bit before he had his neck injury and took time off. So for me, I think that's why I was drawn to more of like the character work and the storytelling was just that's what captivated me at the at my earliest stages.
Nice.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Let me see here for a moment.
So, Junie,
Yeah.
when did you decide that you were gonna take this journey into the crazy life that is wrestling? Right? Because like it's crazy. It's fun. It's the most fun, addictive thing in the world. But it is a crazy lifestyle to just join. When like what were you doing? Where were you? Where were you like? I gotta do this. I gotta at least try.
Yeah, was you sitting there eating like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something and was like, "Hey, you know what? I want to wrestle."
You know, I
It
see
was almost like that. Always being a fan. It was actually kind of COVID that made me just take a step back and realize that, hey, I'm getting older. Wrestling isn't something that I can, you know, do after a certain point in my life. So why not at least, you know, do what I can, get started. As they say, shit or get off the pot. And I decided to make that leap. I have like a nice like white collar background, so having that consistent employment definitely helps. But definitely, it was something I kind of dipped my feet in at first, just due to the nature of COVID. And the more I did, the more I liked. So I kind of went in full force and figured I don't have time to mess around. Let's do this thing.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well, as I was doing research before, I've noticed that you've posted a lot about quotes and trying to be inspirational and stuff like that. Would you happen to have an inspirational or quote of the day possibly that you could just throw at us? Doesn't have to be anything
Oh,
specific. You can even come up with your own.
um, I'm not always the best with quotes. But I guess if I had like a quote for the day, it's never be too hard on yourself. We all make mistakes. We all have bad days. Sometimes it's okay to just take a deep breath, go to sleep, and start fresh in the morning.
Absolutely. Quick, easy, straight
Great.
to the point. Everyone understands it.
Yep.
Everyone's been through it, like you said, so we can all understand. That's a
Sometimes we're the car, other times we're the pigeon. You know.
that's a fantastic one.
That's a good one.
Absolutely. Jeremiah?
What?
Scotty?
Scotty?
Scotty, got a question?
Anything over there with little Jimmy?
Man,
No?
I asked a good
Right
question.
today? All right. Jeremiah, anything?
What? No, I asked all the good questions. I
That's
got
true.
the content.
You
I
did
did
quite a
that.
bit.
He's like, I could talk,
Never
but
know.
asking questions, I'm out. Like,
No, I love asking questions, but like I asked all the good ones. Like
That's true. You absolutely, you did fantastic. You
So-
did
oh,
absolutely great.
I always like to peel back the onion and like break kayfabe of the podcast world, right?
No.
And like, no, like if you watch this back, me and my thought out, very personal questions got us at least 40 minutes of content
Well,
out of 51 minutes
about
actively
25
right
minutes,
now.
actually, but close enough.
So all I'm saying,
About 25 minutes, but close enough.
30, but
No.
Polly, it's fine.
No
Anyways.
way. We were at
I digress. Though.
we were at 10 minutes when you got in here, so calm down.
I know, man. And then like me and
And then we
June just
talked a little
stole
bit,
the
and then
show.
you came in at like 20 to 25 minutes. It's all right though.
Paulie, you're taking away
don't need to
time
get to
from
that.
our guests. Stop. Big Paul.
I
You gotta
digress.
chill,
We don't need to get
dog.
to that.
Gotta
I'll
chill.
handle it in person. I'll handle that in person next time. No.
Yeah.
So where could somebody, if they were watching this today, be like, man, I love this Junie Toon Juniper Gates girl with this big kick energy. She's fantastic. Where could they go and see you upcoming? Like, when is the next chance they would have to see you perform, June?
with the holidays right now, that's a little bit out, but I will say the next event will be in Edinburgh, Indiana. I will actually be at T3W doing thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling.
Let's go.
I was telling them about that earlier, I think before you popped in, and yeah, so there's a little bit of the actual thumb wrestling in the tiny ring, but there's a lot of like brawling and wrestling just around the venue. So like last time I got DDT'd on the floor, and that hurt a lot more than I expected on the thumb wrestling match.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a DDT and a thumb wrestle, but now I'm curious. That's intense.
So I'm excited for that.
Follow our socials. And
I was about
all
to
that.
get to that next. Glad he mentioned that. Besides that, like he said, if they are interested in you and booking you and other stuff, where would they be able to book you and find you? And
Like your socials and
how would they?
What's your X, your Insta, your Facebook, your
with
where can they find you?
with
your
Facebook.
Vine?
Just throw
Oh, right now you're showing your age, there, Gold Man. That made my back hurt.
I love Vine.
But for Facebook, I have the Juniper Gates like fan page, but I also have the Mystic Kick Energy / Juniper fan page. There, I post a lot of like content reels with my matches. Additionally, on my YouTube channel, I post any matches that get uploaded as well as all of my promos. That is it's was youtube.com/JuniperGates. Then on Instagram, I am at, I believe it's the Vaporwave Vixen or Vaporwave Vixen. I'll need to double check, but you'll see my happy-go-lucky face there. And occasionally I use TikTok, but I've been editing my promos using a different app, so I haven't been using that one as much.
Sweet.
Nice.
Absolutely. It's
Make
fantastic.
sure you follow her on all her social medias and all her sites.
Absolutely.
I would love and appreciate that.
Follow and book
Most
our lovely
definitely.
guest.
One of
She
the best.
deserves it.
In my opinion, you're one of the best to lace up a pair of boots.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope I live up to that someday, but I'm glad that you have that level of faith.
I've seen some stuff on YouTube as well, like you said, but I'm looking forward to seeing, possibly being able to see you in person.
That would be great. Like I said, I'd love to come back up to Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm no Schwartzy, but I do like to party in the parking lot.
Nice. And then you're gonna have to come up here and beat up Jeremiah.
Right.
Exactly.
And then we'll have to have you come kick him in the face in the
Yeah.
studio.
Hope she
Or
kicks you.
unicorn stampede.
Oh,
But we already had a boxer hit him one time.
that's fair. Ready to get punched. So you just gotta be careful with his neck, you know.
Oh,
Ew.
Yeah.
Yikes.
well, he did a great job yesterday.
He really did. He devoured
Well, I won. I won an eating contest
potato and a side within or under 4 minutes or 5 minutes, you said?
It was under 4 minutes, dog.
Under
It was
four
like
What kind of eating
340.
contest? Were you gulping glizzies?
No, this was a full rack of ribs,
haven't
a
done hot
baked
dogs yet.
potato
That's an
loaded,
option.
and a side of corn.
Well, we
Okay, that
I've
does
done
sound
glizzies,
good.
though.
Now I'm hungry.
have for the title.
No, yeah, I remember that though. It was in
It was
the
like the
park.
wrestler one or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be interesting.
Yeah.
We have a this day in history. This is one of our little things we usually do. So December 11th, clearly, the year was 1975. It's All Japan Pro Wrestling holds its first ever show in the famous Budokan Hall in Tokyo. The main event sees Giant Baba and the Destroyer defeat Jumbo Tsuruda and Dory Funk Jr.
Nice.
Absolutely insane that
Yeah.
All Japan Pro Wrestling started back in 1975.
Wow.
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know, Giant Baba used to be a baseball player.
That's what I was gonna say. That was what caught my eye as a double sport thing, and I was like, hey,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. It's absolutely wild.
Mhm.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for that. I was excited to read that though. That's what I have to say.
That does sound like it'd be quite the banger, especially given how old it is.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
And of course, Dory Funk.
Yeah.
And both of the Funks were absolutely wild and crazy back then, and just that's crazy. Dory Funk, 1975.
There goes the notes.
Right. All my notes are just spreading everywhere. Thank you.
You were so excited once you read that. You're like,
Older.
Right. I had,
Yeah.
a nice thing and be fine. Gosh. Look. You're here.
And one question, Junie. So let's see. I want to ask you a question about working with Avery Hertz. How do you like working with them?
Really well, honestly. He is, very mature for his age. He trained under Cody Hawk, so he has like a good understanding of the fundamentals. He's in good shape, so I don't really have to worry about him getting gassed when we were working through our matches.
Okay.
And all in all, like overall professional. I've been in a handful of different carpools with him, and other than sometimes driving a bit crazy, I really don't have any complaints.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm getting so comfortable. We've been here for almost an hour, and I've been enjoying every minute of it. 59 minutes already.
Wow.
And it's only felt like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. We got a great guest. We got a great co-host returning on video.
Absolutely.
Go 60 minutes Broadway, baby.
We enjoy it here. That's what we do. We try to go, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes over. Sometimes we make
It's been a lot of fun.
I think we've only done 2 shows where we haven't hit 45 minutes, and that's
Oh wow.
we had a few issues those days. But besides that, we hit an hour or 45 minutes to an hour or above usually every
Yeah.
time.
Hour and 20 minutes that one time.
Dude, I think our longest one was like Jeff Copey,
Oh yeah, you
and that
said it
was
was like
2 hours almost. He was our longest
Yeah.
like video ever with that guest.
And then when you had me on, you said we'll probably get 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Hour and 20 minutes.
something. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's great that, like I said, it's crazy. I've had a fantastic time. It's been an hour. Felt like a half hour has only been gone by, and we've only basically
Just scratch the surface. really.
just scratched over the surface of what is, in my opinion, possibly
A very
a
luxurious
very luxurious, up and coming, career in the makings.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
I can
Thank
def-
you.
yeah,
It's humbling to hear.
I can definitely see you on TNA or wherever
yeah.
you go.
TNA or Ring of Honor, I feel
Ooh,
like
yeah,
would be
Ring of
really
Honor.
good.
Hmm
I agree. AW is kind of wild and crazy
Yeah.
right now, but Ring of Honor has less, and that's why they've been pushing AEW people over there.
hmm
Yeah.
Maybe you never know. You could get you could get one of them and then get a spot on there somewhere.
That's fair.
They do have a really decent women's division too.
Yeah, they do.
Champs Athena right away. That's a great call right away right there.
Yeah.
She was a monster in WWE. She was great in Ring of Honor before.
Definitely great in the ring.
Great now.
hmm
There's plenty.
Most definitely.
I don't know what else to say. I'm trying to think now.
Jeremiah, you
In my
got
notes.
Jimmy,
So-
Jeremiah, anything?
Oh no, Jeremiah did his job. He's done
I got
today.
the same note you do, Reese.
He's just waiting for us to say it's over.
Oh,
He did his
Well,
part. He's just waiting to
I
leave.
did my job. I did mine.
He doesn't want to be rude and just leave. He's
He
just
popped
waiting
in
for us
via
to say it's
satellite.
good.
It's
He did his part.
He's proverbially got his shoes on and waiting at the door. No.
Right.
if you don't mind, Junie, if I could ask you one more thing about a wrestler.
Yeah.
Ari Alexander. So how
Ari.
you working with them?
Ari.
Ari, I'm sorry.
Ari Alexander, she's good at what she does, but her having a lower center of gravity makes it easier for her to like German suplex someone my height. So it hurts a lot more. Though backstage, she's really professional. I've never had any issues working with her. She's always been very respectful, and she's willing to take what she gives. So I from a personal standpoint, I don't have any issues or any problems with her. I would definitely work with her again at any point.
Okay. Nice.
Absolutely. That's good. That was very good.
Thank you.
Good question, Reese.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I screwed up on it.
You're right.
That's all right.
No, thank you.
Okay, well, but I think with that, I think that's a good place to stop. Like I said, even though we've hit the surface, we could definitely have multiple people come back, or we could have you come back and discuss more. Hopefully, this time in person when you're back in Michigan. Like
That would be a lot of fun.
we could definitely, it'd be a lot better. Probably be a lot more fun, like you said.
Yeah. Ooh, can you imagine like a
we
locker
could
room
have-
interview sort of thing?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Room interview,
yeah.
like either pre or post match.
Yeah. We'll have you come up. We'll do a little more of an interview. We'll ask you a few more things. We'll get some stories, and then hey, maybe we'll have a live thumb war here.
Yeah.
We'll have a thumb war championship battle right here. We've got plenty of us. So
I'll make sure to keep my thumbs nice and
Right,
nice.
just in case.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like Jeremiah is one of those. He'll be in the top 2.
I'll win.
Our producer
win.
Josh is really good at thumb wars.
I'll cheat, man. I'll low blow in a thumb war.
Oh,
I don't think thumbs have
He's a low blow thumb war.
genitalia.
Cheating.
They don't. The people attached to them do.
Always on your bullshit. Always.
Oh,
Absolutely always.
So before we close out, should we? Well, I'm gonna give a birthday shout out to Reese
Yeah.
over there.
yeah. Reese's birthday is tomorrow.
Tomorrow
His
is
mom
his
told
birthday.
us just now in the comments.
Yeah, thank you, Mom, and thank you, Brother Paul.
Happy birthday!
I
Thank
was
you so
gonna say
much.
it as well. Yep. Happy
Leaving my
birthday.
teens tomorrow, gonna be 20.
Oh,
Yeah. Reese is almost a full-grown adult.
Almost.
we all get there one day.
That's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me.
Right,
Thank you,
right.
Jeremiah.
You know,
That's really sad.
that's
That's
the nicest
really
thing he said today. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
like if
Real.
it's the nicest thing you've heard me say, that's nice.
You
But
broke
like if
in
that
and,
was
you
the
know,
nicest
Jeremiah went
thing you've
babyface?
ever heard,
Right.
that's really sad.
Said we were doing a terrible job. Now he's like, you know what? Happy birthday. You look great for your age.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, like,
All
that's
right.
crazy, man.
Where's my nice thing? Oh wait, I don't get one. I know. I get it.
Well,
Sorry.
you got a nice tie on. That's your nice thing.
Yeah, you don't get
Uh,
one. You look slobbish today, brother Paul. You do.
Unbelievable.
You,
That
you got a
tie
tie on a hoodie.
Dressed in a red dress, like I wouldn't be that festive.
Oh,
He's
well,
got a tie on and a hoodie.
okay, and
Your
Very
hat
festive tie and
doesn't
hoodie.
your gangster hat doesn't match your sweatsuit.
it doesn't have to. Look,
Yes,
I
it
got my hat
does.
too.
How fashion works.
I'm very festive. Okay.
Festive.
Brother Paul's
not
not happy during
fiesta.
certain times. Christmas is one of them. So quit cutting my happiness, man. You're gonna be the first one to get the Brother Paul smack. Keep it up. You're gonna feel it.
We'll need that. on
Does
video.
not scare me. Does
Oh.
not scare me.
Finisher?
You know what scares me though? Your
Keep
hair.
it up, Goldman, and they're gonna pay for me to come up and beat you
Right?
up.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. What did you say now?
It says
Is that your finisher?
The brother
Oh,
Paul's-
The Brother Paul slap. The Brother Paul slap.
Yeah,
Brother Paul smack.
just a backhand.
Instead of the APA, be the UPA, Uniform Protection Agency.
You gotta do it the Jeremiah way. You smack him. Oh.
No, man, you gotta hurt, bro. Listen, people recover from hits. You gotta talk shit. That's how you beat somebody. Is shit talking.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you're me and you're my size, I just smack you and sit on you until you give up.
No, like because
I win by default. I'll just sit on you and you won't move.
I'll just walk in a circle and you'll tire.
Just use me as a baseball bat.
That's
Hey,
true
Jeremiah.
too. That's true too.
Yeah, use me as a bowling ball.
That's not how that works. I'll just listen. If you're going like if you were fighting a bear, right? You don't go close to the bear. You ain't gonna like
Right.
that's stupid. I'm gonna stay out of your shovel reach. And then just insult
in
you.
a fight with the Jeremiah, in a fight with a bear, you just have to outrun the person who's
can't-
not as fast as you. So that
Well,
you
yeah,
can't
but that-
outrun the bear, you have to outrun your friends.
And he's saying that's me. Messed up?
Yeah, and that would be Brother Paul.
No, I don't know about that one.
I didn't see me carrying Jimmy on my back. Like,
Let's be real. The last person would probably be Scotty. He'd be so high. He'd be like, "What?"
Dude, Scotty
Scotty wouldn't even make it.
He's laughing his ass off. Actually, he liked that joke. He gave me a thumbs up.
doing ASMR until the bear comes.
He's like, "It's okay. Shh. They're there." No. Shh. They're there. Hey, quit talking to little Jimmy over there. It's not fair. We've got a guest. Rude.
Yeah, it's very rude.
Unbelievable, Scotty. So messed up.
Scotty doesn't know.
Feel heartbroken.
Scotty wasn't even prepared today. He doesn't even have notes.
Well, he got
None at all.
I brought copies for all of us.
Yeah, but his are gone. He doesn't have his. Scotty was like, you know what? I don't need the notes. And he didn't bring any, and he didn't want yours. I don't know where they went.
Did Jeremiah bring notes?
Jeremiah doesn't need notes.
I
Get
don't
it all in his
need
head.
notes. Right.
He's actually, you know,
He does the old walk and talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jeremiah doesn't need notes. Scotty forgot his as usual.
Scotty
Usually,
forgot himself.
Scotty did forget himself. Scotty's just, gone. He came back for 1 week and he was like, "I'm here, guys. We're doing good. Keep up the great work," and I'm gone again.
Brother Paul and the brothers.
Just left
Brothers
again.
out.
Now it's Brother Paul and the boys again. Just chilling. But nonetheless, thank you, of course, for coming on. It's
Thank
been
you so much.
fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I've had a fantastic time. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Even though
talking to you.
Jeremiah, did verbally abuse me, I will admit it has been great having him join us again as well.
Despite being kind of a jerk, Goldman, you did ask some wonderful questions.
I try.
Of course, congrats on no longer having the neck brace. It was great seeing you in person yesterday. Good to see you're doing a lot better. I love that for you.
Yes.
But with that being said, before we take off and end the live, we want to give another huge shout out for the love and support to all of our sponsors, which include The Mint Cannabis, Pro Wrestling Edge, FU Wrestling, Smoker Society, 8 Mile Vodka, IWR, DTW, The Dudes Talking Wrestling, Lane's Pizzeria, The Little Brown Jug, and Craving Sports Cards and Collectible. Thank you all for your love and support. And come back next week where we will have our guest in person, actually, this time. And his name is Brian Wilkins, aka Asmodeus, is it you said, Jeremiah?
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus, that's it. Thank you. And he will be joining us live in person as well next week.
He did one of the man. I don't know how to put it. I want to put funny because I laughed, but I don't because of how the internet works. So he did one of the most controversial things I've ever seen live in wrestling, and I loved it off record, but on record I'm impartial.
Okay.
Yeah. And if
Fair.
I'm here, we'll definitely talk about it because it was great.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, once again, thank you both for coming. It's been
Thank
a
you so
fantastic
much.
time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Like I said, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure we all agree here in the studio that it's been a fantastic episode.
Awesome
Stefan.
episode.
Scotty's been smiling the whole time,
Yeah, he hasn't stopped laughing.
and
And I'll definitely make sure to keep you all in the loop anytime I'm booked up in Michigan, because if we can connect in person, that'd be a lot of fun.
absolutely,
Oh,
yes, please do.
that'd be
That'd be
awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
Bye.
Well, that being said, we wanted to say
Peace.
adios, and we shall see you guys next time.
Have a great night, everyone.
So much. Adios.